Hi, everybody. I'm Sheila Ryan with Designs by Babymoon, and I want to talk about rivets today and how to put together the Rivet Wristlet Hardware with hardware and the Rivet key fobs that I've made for you this week. So if you haven't seen them, let me just show them real quick. So I actually have had this design. I built it last year sometime, and I don't know what happened, but it just kind of fell off my radar. So I came back to it. I had made all of these key fobs and then or wristlet fobs, and I just never got them put it together. So they're all together now, and while I was working on it, I came up with a bunch more other things. So I want to show you because they have a little way you put them together, and this is the way that I found that works best for this project. There are 100 ways to do all kinds of things, so you may have a better way. This is just the way that I found that works best, and so I wanted to show you how I put them together. So in the intro, I showed you a supply list, and on that supply list, I also mentioned that you'll need rivets. And so I've been posting some things about rivets in the group. One of the places that I have gotten rivets from in the past is from a website called galesnest.com. I actually met Gale at Applique Getaway a couple of years ago. My booth was right next to her booth, and I kind of drooled all over her goodies because they were beautiful. And she had rivets. She had crystal rivets, and I was like, oh yeah, we can't use those on snap tabs. Like, we can't use those. That's not what we use. We use snaps. We don't use rivets. Well, Gale proved me wrong, and Gale showed me how to use them, and not without using extra tools. And so I kind of have had these rivets in my stash. That was at least 2 years ago now. Yeah, this summer it'll be 2 years ago. And so I've had these rivets in my stash, and I just haven't used them. And so this is a great project for them. So the ones, I've posted some links in the tutorial. I have links to where I've gotten some rivets. I have links on Amazon. I've posted a link to the CamSnaps website, camsnaps.com, and also to galesnest.com. Gale is actually out of town still, and so I checked her website just a few minutes ago to make sure, I could send you there, and she's still out of town, so she hasn't activated her website back up yet. But I'll keep checking there, and as soon as I see her website come back on, back up from her being out of town, I will post that link again for you. So let me just show you a little bit about what we're talking about. So this is the Rivet Wristlet Hardware, the original one that has hardware, the wristlet hardware at the top. So these neat little squeezy things that go across the ends of these big wide straps. In the designs that I'm making, the hardware that I'm using calls for 1.25 inch wristlet hardware. So that's the width of the hardware. There are other widths, and so pay attention to the width when you buy it. And I just figured one width would make it a lot simpler to do lots of different designs if we just stuck with one thing. So this is nice and wide. It's a good size. These hardware things are available pretty much everywhere. You can get them at Joann's. You can get them at most quilt stores. Will have hardware like this in their project section, like for wear purses and patterns and things like that. I think Sally Tomato has a brand that they offer. So you can find these a lot of places. You can also get them at My Embroidery and at camsnaps.com. And so they're everywhere, but they're called wristlet hardware. So that's what the hardware is on these that connect to them. And then the vinyl, of course, I've used from My Embroidery here. This is, the Furry Friends vinyl mixed with some metallics for the flowers. But I didn't just stop there. So I went a little crazy, and I made a couple more designs. I made, there's more flowers. I have a basket right in my lap that I'm going to have to move somewhere so I can do this video. We made a poppy version, and I love the poppy. I think the poppy is just beautiful. So there's the poppy, and then there is The sunflower, I do love the sunflower too. So the sunflower one is gorgeous. And then a poinsettia, which I'm going to be working on here in front of you. And I actually changed the center because I like the center. I didn't quite like the center of the original version. So I switched the center around, and I'll show you what I mean by that when we put these together. But there's a poinsettia wristlet, and then there's a couple of cross versions. And so here's a Celtic cross. There's also one that I'm calling a turquoise cross. And I do not have it. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I have one of those right here too. I mean, seriously, there's like 15 things in my lap. So here's the turquoise cross version. Not that you have to use turquoise, but I happen to use turquoise for the background material, as well as a faux turquoise gemstone that I got at Tandy Leather. That's a different rivet. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so this shape I'm calling turquoise cross. And if you've been hanging out in the group the last couple of days, you know that I loved it so much that I turned it into a pair of earrings too. So these earrings are also in the turquoise cross style, but you don't have to use turquoise. But it's not 2 layers, it's just 1 layer. And so I just made it so that the embroidery is the shape of the inner cross here. I did it in turquoise. And then you put a rivet through the middle. So the rivet earrings kind of go along with this whole thing because I'm using rivets in the middle. But if you don't have rivets, you don't want to get into rivets, I will show you another option. But let's keep going with what I'm working on. So those wristlet ones that have the, oh, this is an itty bitty one. So, well, it's not itty bitty. In the files for the wristlets, there's some short straps. So 7-inch and 7.5-inch, depending on if you, which way the design is angled in your hoop. There's a 7-inch strap. These are the 10-inch version because I have bigger hoops for my machines, and so I could do those larger ones. And they fit over your hand better. So if you're the kind of person that carries your keys on your hand, that works great. As a true wristlet, I don't generally put my keys on my wrist because I have lots of other stuff on my keys, including a hand sanitizer, a couple of my favorite key fobs, and my wallet as a badge bag hanging on there. So I don't carry my keys on my wrist because that would be, I might as well carry a purse if I'm going to do that. So anyway, but there's a short version. So if you only have a 5x7 hoop, you definitely can do these rivet wristlets as well. Okay. I hate leaving people who only have a 4x4 hoop out though. So somebody asked, what can we do with 4x4s? And I was like, oh, you can't do these. And I just got sad about that because we want to do those. We want to make those happen. And so it took me a couple of days of really thinking about it and trying to figure out how can I do this kind of a design that's fun and, you know, really different from what I've put together before, but how can I do it for 4x4s? And so it finally hit me in the middle of the night. I haven't slept a lot this week, honestly. So I tried to work on that yesterday. I took a 3-hour nap after I brought kids home from school, but I'm getting more sleep than I did now that this is out of my head. It's just the thing. It's just how I am. But I figured it out. And so that's what I want to show you today. So this is the 4x4 version of the 3D fobs. And so it's actually not a wristlet. There's not a lot of ways that you could go about making a long strap in your 4x4 hoop unless you were connecting things together. It's super fiddly. It would be easier for you to learn to sew and use a sewing machine and make a nice strap that way that you could use these little 3D emblems on, or embellishments on, or 3D elements. What did I call them? Emblems? Yeah, no, elements, 3D elements. It would be easier for you to sew a strap on your regular sewing machine to get a longer strap if you only had a 4x4 hoop and you wanted to make a wristlet. And we could talk about that later if you wanted to. But if you wanted a strap in your 4x4 hoop and you wanted something that you could use as a snap tab, that's what I've worked up for you. And so this design, here's the back of it so you can see what the back looks like. Okay, so this design goes on a strap, but it also has a way for you to secure the 3D element to the strap. And that's what I wanted to show you. So it goes through the layers. You can kind of see how they're folded over. The top part has snaps, so you can use your snaps and your D-ring lobster clasps on there. But there's a specific order to put these together so that the whole thing will work right. And so that's what I wanted to show you today. So I'm going to switch the camera or make the other screen bigger so that you can see what's in front of me. I'm hoping what you cannot see is the ridiculous amount of cords and wires I have all over the place here. It's a thing. So cords, wires, lights. And I left the door open so that the dogs could go in and out so that nobody would bark at me. I don't know that that's going to happen, but that's what we're going to try. So I'm going to set these all aside, and then I'm going to focus on my workspace over here and then show you what's in front of me. Okay, well, you can kind of see what's in front of me, but I'm going to hopefully explain what's in front of me a little bit better. Okay. So on my workspace here in front of me, I have the things that I've already stitched out. I have a lot of the 3D elements. I'm going to put these over here because I'm done talking about them and holding them. And I'm going to move all of these so they're not in the way. And hopefully I'm not going to knock anything down. No, that was a little bit loud. Sorry about that. Okay. So what I've got are, I've got my 3D, I've got flower layers. So these I just stitched up. I've got some cross layers. And this is the Turquoise Cross. Of course, I did it on turquoise plaid vinyl from my embroidery, actually. I've got some of those layers. I've got some of the poppy layers. And then I've got some of the poinsettia layers. Those are the middles. This is the back piece. So super pretty metallic textured vinyl from my embroidery. And I don't remember exactly the name of this, but it's gorgeous. And I love it. It's kind of a mauve pink color. And I used a khaki thread. So it looks kind of golden, but it's not really gold, but it's golden. And it is lovely with this pinky color. So, and then, of course, sunflowers, so many sunflowers because I'm making all the sunflowers. So these are the bigger back pieces and then the smaller front pieces. And I have, I just have those in the cream. I don't know where my other yellow ones went, but I must not have brought them, but it's okay. And then I have another one of the Celtic cross, which has 2 layers. So I'll show you how all these go together. But anyway, so I stitched a bunch of parts out and let's put them together. So, oh, I also have some straps. So this is the straps for the bigger wristlet that we can put together, or I can show you how it goes together. And then these are the straps for I call them the 3D rivet fobs. So these are the straps for those. And on your design that you're going to get, it's not going to have these markings. I had originally included these markings as part of the file, but I found, and you'll see here, that it's really messy because the way these are far apart, you know, I hate jump stitches. And there are jump stitches between these little markers. And then it was not a good setup. So I took these out because we're all grown up, so we can all follow a picture. So in the tutorial, there's a picture that tells you at which, like if you mark these up or set them by a ruler, you could see where you need to put which hole for snaps or rivets. Okay. So mine have those on it because I didn't run any more because I had so many of these and I don't want to waste them. But yours is not going to have these little things inside. And actually, once it's all put together, you won't actually see any of that anyway. They don't show up. You can't see them at all. So they're really irrelevant. So we're just going to ignore those for right now. So this is what you're going to do. So you've got your strap and you've got your elements. You're going to need to, we're going to need to put I didn't bring them in. You're going to have to give me a second. You're going to need to put the snaps on the straps first. So let me go grab the snaps because that is the one thing that I didn't get. So let me go get those real quick. Okay, I'm back with snaps. Let's just put these right here. These are the little drawers from my snap cabinet that's in the other room because I haven't found a good place for it right here. And I need pliers too. So let me grab those. told you I was all ready, and then I proved myself wrong here. So I got my snaps, and I also got some things that we'll need at the end to the tassels and the loops for the tassels. So I'm going to try to stack these up right here, and hopefully it'll hold and I won't knock it down. So I think you might have seen a dog walk in. I had another dog that fell asleep out there. So we have a 1-year-old dog and we have a 15-year-old dog. And so they are a match. They're a match. They're something. Okay. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to put our snaps in. And you need to put your snaps in. Nope, that's not true. I'm telling you wrong. I'm already telling you wrong. So the first thing that you need to do is put your, well, now I've confused myself. So I brought this one down here because I thought, oh, this is what I did wrong, and I need to show you what I did wrong first. I brought it down because you do have to put your snaps in first. If you put your rivets in first, you're not going to have enough room to put the snaps on. That's why I did this. So in the tutorial, it'll tell you to punch the holes first, and they're at certain distances. So the rivet holes are right at the midpoint of the strap. So if you folded your strap in half and you punched a hole or made a marking for a hole right at the middle, and then also at 1/8 of an inch from the bottom of your tag, which looks like right here. So can you see that that is almost next to the stitching? There's a very small amount of room next to the stitching where I put that hole. The holes for the snaps are going to go on these. I made them square. I thought that was going to work, but it didn't. 1/4 inch away from the top and 1.5 inches away from the top. And that's enough room to give you to snap and then put your D-ring hardware in between there. Okay. So let's put our snaps on first. And I'm going to use this one right here. So the first thing we've got to do is punch some holes for the snaps. And I'm going to use this 1.8 millimeter jewelry punch. This is the kind of punch that you would use if you were doing metal stamping and you were punching holes in the metal to hold jump rings or something. I'm using that for these punches for the snaps. Normally I can just squeeze them in really good, but I didn't want you to see me struggle like that on camera. So I'm going to take and punch the holes for the snaps on here first. I'm also going to punch the holes for the rivets. And what I'm using to punch the holes for the rivets is my Crocodile Big Bite. It has 2 sizes of holes that it'll punch. It'll punch the 3/16 of an inch hole. Let's see if that'll focus on there. And it'll also punch a 1/8 of an inch hole. And that 1/8 of an inch hole is nice for the rivets because it gives it enough, it gets enough out of the way so that that post for the rivet will go on nicely. And again, you can see I'm punching it right at the middle and then right down at the end. And I'm trying to stay as close as I can to the center of the strap. So right down at the end and at the top. And let's do this one too. Right in the middle. Oops. I'm working around a camera, which I know is really awkward. And then at the end, very end, right in the middle. Okay. So I've got those holes punched for these. And I'm going to set my straps on first. So I'm going to use the cam snaps. And in the tutorial, I tell you that you want to set the socket at the top and the stud part in the middle, but you want both of your caps to be on the right side. On this one, I use blackboard vinyl on the front and the back. I mean, on the back only. And then I used the thicker embossed vinyl for my pump embroidery, which has a really nice texture. Kind of looks like it's been tooled like leather work, but it's vinyl. So I guess it's cheating, but it's not really cheating because it was made that way. But, you know, if you're a leather purist and you wanted to do it your way, go ahead. That's great. But this is just the embossed tooled looking vinyl. And then I'm going to put my stud at the top. I have some threads here that I need to trim off. So this was another reason why I didn't include these markings, because these threads, because there's not a jump stitch in between them, you have to put a knot so that these threads won't come undone. And then that leaves a knot on the back of your stuff and it's extra trimming. It's just not worth it. So we don't have to work that hard. I don't want you to have to trim that much. So let me grab my snap pliers and we will put the stud at the top And then squeeze that on. I have to move some more stuff off my desk, I can see. So there's the stud. Give it a little squeeze. Make sure that post is flattened down in there in the middle. Okay, and then let's put the socket on. So the cap goes on the same side, on the right side of the strap. So this is the right side. This is the back with the thinner blackboard vinyl. And I'm going to put the socket part. If it's a belly, if you're, thinking of it like a belly button, this one's an outie and this one's an innie. And I'm going to squeeze that one on. Okay. I'm going to make sure that stem is pushed flat so it'll hold the snap on. Okay, so my snaps are done. And now you can see that I could put it around my hardware. And I say D-ring lobster clasps all the time because that's what I like using. These D-ring, it's a D-ring, it's a lobster clasp. I love using these. They're great for clip-on things. This one already has its tassel hooked onto it because I was doing something else. But now we can put our rivets on. And what's going to happen is this is going to fold up like this. We're going to put our rivet through the 3D elements and go all the way through the 2 layers of the 3D elements, as well as the layers of the middle and the end of our little strap. Okay, so when it's finished, it'll look like this. See, you won't actually see any of the back at all. But I used blackboard vinyl, and I suggested that in the materials because it's so much thinner than the regular vinyl. I'm going to get in here and you can see. So here's the layer of the blackboard vinyl here. I wonder if it'll focus on that. The blackboard vinyl is here. There's my cutaway stabilizer right there. And then this is the vinyl. It's a lot thinner than the vinyl because it doesn't have this puffy, scrunchy, plasticky, whatever it's made out of vinyl stuff all over it. It's just the canvas with the vinyl on it, nothing in between, no layers or anything. So I love it. I like that stuff. So let's pick a doodad to go onto here. So I'm going to pick the poinsettia one just because I love it and I think it's pretty. And I'm going to punch my holes in the 3D elements. So this one has 2 layers. It's got some threads we need to trim. Let me do that. It has a middle part and then a back layer. And the way the file works on this one, both layers are the same color. So the front and backs run all together. On the sunflower one, it stops so that you can add a different color for the top. I think that's right. I think you can add a different color for the top layer and the bottom layer. And on the original one, the flower rivet one, it has 2 colors, so it stops on each side. And the crosses also have 2 layers, 2 places where you stop. But this one works all at once because the poinsettia flower is all at once. So I need to punch a hole in both of these layers. So I'm going to punch that same size, the 1/8 of an inch hole, because these posts for the rivets are quite a bit larger, it seems, than the posts for snap taps. So, for the snaps. So I've got some good holes here. So now I've got my front one, my back one, I've got my strap, and now I'm going to pick a rivet. So let's talk about the rivets. Let me move these snaps out of the way a little bit without spilling them. And the rivets that I'm going to show you, I have a couple of different kinds. So let's kind of scoot these guys out of the way. Okay, so we've got a good space to work. The rivets that I want to show you are the rivets from Gale's Nest. And they're so nice because they come in a little organizer. So they are 8mm across the top of the stone area. And the post is 7mm long. These are rivets that I got on Amazon. And they're also 8mm stones or across the top. But the post is only 4mm long. And these rivets are not long enough to go through 2 layers of your strap plus 2 layers of elements. They're just not long enough. I guess you could if you were super strong and you could squeeze better, but I'm not that strong and I'm not going to work that hard. So I'm suggesting to you that you use the longer prong rivets for this one that's the 4x4 size, because it has to go through so many layers. Okay, so it's got to go through the top layer, the bottom layer, the one side of the strap, and then the bottom side of the strap. If you, on the wristlet version, let me get one of those real quick. It's only going through one layer of the strap on the wristlet, because it's just, see, the rivet is riveted to one side of it, not both. And so you can use the shorter rivets that you can get anywhere for the wristlets. You can use the shorter rivets for the earrings, like I showed you that I was wearing. Here's some more over here, the turquoise cross. So you can use the shorter rivets for the earrings, and they work great. But for this version, you're going to need the longer, the key fob version, the small one that goes in your 4x4 hoop. You're going to need the longer post rivets. And those longer post rivets are available at galesnest.com and camsnaps.com. And in the post about rivets, I put the links to those there. I have not found any long prong rivets on Amazon. If you find them on Amazon and you want to post a link in the group, that is great. You're welcome to do that. And I would appreciate it. If you know of another place that has these long prong rivets, please post in the comments. So, and if you can get them locally, even better. I think if you can get them locally, you should go there by all means, because right now we need to all support our local businesses so that they'll be around for us to shop at later. Okay. I'm going to put this one down, and we're going to put our rivets on here. Now I'm going to use my same tool to put the rivets on. This tool is the Cam Snap Pliers. This is the KX8J. Let's see if you can see it. The KX8J. It's the one where you don't have to change the die to do the studs and sockets, because the little squeezy part that smashes that is right in the middle. It's hard to see, and I don't want to take it off. I could. Can you see that? That little metal piece in that is actually what squeezes the post of your snaps on. It works also for the rivets. And this is what Gale from Gale's Nest had showed me, and what I want to show you. So you don't necessarily need another tool or to go buy a separate tool, because this will work. Now, you can put rivets in using a rivet tool that is like a post with a little disc of metal that you set it in, and then you would use a hammer. You can do that too. I'm used to using this, and so I'm going to use this. And I want to show you how to use this, because I think most of you that do snap tabs have something like this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the elements. We were going to do the poinsettias because we punched holes, right? And let's pick a rivet to go in the middle. So I'm going to pick one of the ones. When I got them from Gale's Nest, she had two sets. This is like purple, hot pink, turquoise, light pink, and crystal. This other set that she had was more bright colors, red, plain crystal, green, yellow, and a royal blue. So both are really pretty. They come with this, and the snaps are not mixed up for you. And the ones that you get in Amazon, they're going to be all mixed up and jumbled like this. So if you're going to make matching earrings, you're going to have to dig to find the colors you want. I don't like digging. I like things to be all organized out. If you can tell by my snaps are all organized out. My jump rings are all organized out. I'm a big fan of not having to work too hard when I'm trying to find something. Probably because the rest of my life is a mess. But if I can control this area, then I want to. So I'm going to get my crystal rivet out and a back. Okay, and remember I said we're going to go through all the layers. So I'm going to go through with that crocodile hole. It fits nicely, and I don't have to work very hard. I put the rivet through the top layer, the middle layer. There's some extra of the knot there, but we're not going to need it, and you won't see it at all anyway once it's attached to there, so I'm not really worried about it a whole lot. My rivet's poking through, and then I'm going to poke my rivet through this top layer and fold up the bottom layer. Let's do that again. I'm poking it through the hole in the middle, the one that's right in the middle, because this is the front of my tag. And then I'm going to fold this bottom part over so that my rivet is peeking through there. And I'm going to put the cap on it. This is the back side of your fob. Hopefully I can do this around the camera without making a mess. That's the back. So this is what the front will be like, and this is the back, and I'm kind of squeezing this all together, but I'm squeezing really hard. So I want you to hear that this is not hard. And I'm going to use my cam snap plier, and I'm going to put the crystal part in the bottom of the pliers and let that metal part of the die squish the cap into the thing. Okay. So let me show you what that looks like. I've got my crystal over here. So this is the right side, the front of my fob. And then I've got the rivet back, the cap for the rivet, the back right here. And I'm just putting it right down there, and I'm going to squeeze. See, I'm squeezing little things. I'm not squeezing real hard, but my rivet is set, and this is not going to come undone. That's it. It's finished. And then you would add the, a tassel or a ribbon or a beaded charm afterwards. But look how cute that is. Isn't that adorable? Perfect. Let's do another one because we're going to. Let's move that one out of the way. Let's move this stuff out of the way because there's too much stuff here. I'm going to punch some more holes. Let's do one of the turquoise flowers. This is the whipped avocado vinyl from my punk embroidery for the top layer. And then I use the new plaid, turquoise plaid buffalo check vinyl from my punk embroidery for the bottom layer because it's pretty. And these look awesome together. Isn't that cool? So that turquoise plaid, I've had it for a while, and I've just been waiting for a project to use it on. And I'm so glad that these happened so I could use it on these. I'm gonna get rid of those extra threads on the back. And I've seen a lot of chatter about this lately. If your machine cuts jump stitches, you're still going to have those little tails to trim off at the beginning and end of your stitches. Not so much on the beginning if you can hold your bobbin thread, pull your bobbin thread up before you start stitching, but you'll have them on the end anyway, even if your machine cuts them, because it's going to cut off the thread, but there's going to be a little tail left. So you're always going to have trimming to do. So don't think that, when you upgrade to a machine that cuts jump stitches, that it's going to eliminate all threads. You'll never have to trim anything again. You won't. You'll still have to trim. So anyway, let's pick, let me quit chattering about that. And let's pick some rivets. So I'm going to put this on the green strap. This green is the floral embossed vinyl from my punk embroidery. And there's green. There's this orangey color, which looks a lot like saddle tan leather. There's a blue. There's a purple. There's a rose pink, which is gorgeous. All kinds of colors in there. It's really amazing. Anyway, I'm going to do this one on the green, though, because I think the green looks like the stem for the flower. Isn't that cute? So we need to put our snaps on first. So I'm going to get a socket and a stud. I just set it backwards. And 2 caps. And remember that we're going to put the caps so that they're both on the right side of the strap. So I'm going to put the caps in. Okay, and put the socket one on top. And again, see these extra, you're not going to have to worry about all of those extra strings on your version. I'm going to squeeze the socket on, and then I'm going to put the stud on. Okay, there's the stud. And that way my caps are both on the right side of the fabric. And this is the wrong side of my strap, so it's just the blackboard vinyl. And now I can put my rivets on. I'm not going to go ahead and loop it through hardware because I don't need to right now. Let's see. So I'm going to put my layers on. Let's put the rivet through these layers. And because this is kind of turquoisey, let's see. Let's add a turquoise rivet to it. So the whipped avocado is kind of a minty, bluey, turquoisey, greeny color. So I think that looks cute. We'll just keep it all turquoise, 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 turquoise. And then we're going to go through the top layer, the hole right in the middle of your strap, and then fold our bottom one over. Do that again. Okay, so let me show you again. So we've got our rivet going through the top layer of the flower, the bottom layer of the flower, and then the middle hole of the strap that you're going to punch right in the exact middle of the strap. And then you're going to fold over the bottom where the hole that's closest to the bottom edge, 1/8 of an inch away, you're going to fold that up and over the back. Okay, and then you'll need a little cap. and you'll put that little cap on right there. And you can just take your cam snap pliers and kind of line up that middle piece, that cap right with the middle of the die, and give it a little squeeze. So you can tell you're squeezing it when that rubber is compressed right there. And it's done. It's on. Now for this one, I have these other little lobster clasp things that just come on a key fob, key ring. So you can just wrap it around there, snap it together, and you're done. Isn't that cute? Let me show you how I add the tassels, because I think tassels are fun and they add a little extra. So I have a collection of different size jump rings that I keep in a medicine. No, this isn't a medicine container. This is it's called Craftmates Lockables. Anyway, these are great. You can also use medicine sorters. This is a 12 millimeter split ring. So it's not just a jump ring. It's more secure. It's a split ring. And I have these pliers that are split ring openers that I use to open them instead of using my fingernails, because it's so much nicer, or your teeth or something else. And we're going to need a tassel. So let me find a tassel that would be cute with these. And I stuck my tassel boxes over here. And these are just pencil boxes that I got it somewhere. Let's find a cute color that goes with that turquoise. There's a turquoise one, actually. Let's go with that. We're just going to run with it. Okay. And I should put you know what? Hang on. Let me look at that together. Oh, yes, I do like it, because that turquoise and that turquoise look good. Okay, so I'm going to put my split ring on the key ring. You can do this the other way. Just get it open enough in there. Oh, it's on the key ring. We're done with that. And then I'm going to hook my tassel onto the split ring and let it circle through there. Kind of wind that on. And now it's done. So this one is super cute, because you got two dangly pops on the top. You've got a tassel and you've got the clippy, and it's keyring, so you can put more stuff on there. Just cute. So much cuteness. Lots of cuteness. There's a thread that I want to trim right there. Cute, huh? Isn't that cute? So there's a little strap. There's the thing. You want to do one more? Let's do one more. Let's pretend we've already done our snaps. So here's one that we've already done the snaps on. Say caps both on one side. Okay, same side. Let's do one of these pink crosses. So this is oh, you know what? I didn't tell you about the cross fabric. So this is more of the gingham or buffalo check vinyl from My Punk Embroidery. And then this is the pearl, or it's called cream patent. So if you've hung around with me for a while, you know how I just love the patent vinyls from My Punk Embroidery. Well, this creamy one is actually kind of metallic, and it shimmers, and it is just absolutely I thought white patent was my favorite. And then I thought black patent was my favorite. And then I thought red and blue patent were my favorite. And then I got this cream patent, and this one outshines them all. It's my favorite. You're my favorite right now. It's my favorite. So I'm going to punch a hole in the top layer of the cream patent vinyl. This is the Turquoise Cross version. Okay, so this one's obviously not turquoise, but just go with it with me. The shape is the Turquoise Cross. There's the back layer. So here's the top layer. Here's the back layer. We've got our holes punched in the strap. And let's pick a crystal. Let's see. I'm going to decide if I want hot pink or bright pink or light pink. Let's look at them both and see. We'll audition them together. This is the bright pink. Let's stick this in here and see what it feels like when we do it. That's cute. Let's try the other one and just see what happens. What do we feel like when that one goes there? Oh, we feel automatically that this one is much better. I feel better. I don't know if you feel better, but I feel better. So that's the one I'm going to go with. So I've got my rivet through those layers. I'm going to put it through the middle of the strap. Okay, that's the hole in the middle. And then I'm going to flip the bottom up. Put that bottom hole over that post and stick a cap on there. Kind of hold it all together. and get my cam snaps pliers and squeeze it on. Somebody asked one day, how come I don't use my big cam snap press to do these things? And honestly, since I got these pliers where I don't have to change out the bits, I have not used my big floor press. And so it's just so much easier and simpler. Anyway, the rivet cap is on. These are great. It's on. It's there. It's permanent. Let me get a hardware for it. I have this one that already has a tassel on it. So this is just a D-ring lobster clasp. Let me loop it around there, snap it together, and it's done. Gosh, that is so cute, y'all. I just love these. I know I keep saying that. I'm like, oh, it's my favorite design ever. But seriously, I just can't stop with them. These other shapes may end up as earrings, but I'm not sure. I wanted to show you, so let me show you some other rivet options. So if you're doing the straps, the long wristlet straps right here, which I could show you how we put these on too. Let me show you how to do that. So this is the long wristlet strap that's in the Rivet Wristlet file. Okay, this is the 10-inch one. I did them 3 at a time in my 6x10 hoop. And so it only has one hole, and there is a placement hole for it because you want it to be the right distance down from the top. Excuse me. I'm going to do another one of those pink ones right here because I love the way this gingham pink looks on this floral embossed. It's just a whole look. And I don't, I'm not particularly, into rodeo wear, or I don't know. I don't even know what you call this style, but to me, it looks like the pretty stuff when you go to Buc-ee's. It's like, oh, it's so pretty. So it's kind of trendy, and who knows if these will be cool in 5 years, but in 5 years, we'll come up with something else to make. But for today, these are just pretty and they're super fun. So who knows? You could make a whole bunch and sell them to Buc-ee's, and they could have them in the store. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that they would have there. Cute. Anyway, so there's my thing. And we liked the light pink better with this one, didn't we? You don't have to use pink. I mean, you could use something else, but I'm sticking to the same thing. You could use just a plain crystal too. Oh, you know what? But I was going to show you the other rivets. So look here. These are the ones I got at Tandy Leather. These are stone dome rivets. Stone rivets, 10 millimeters. There's 10, and this is purple. I think this package was either $3.49 or $3.99. But there weren't a whole lot of colors, but there were some colors. So there was red, there was purple. This is a darker turquoise blue, which would look really good on that one. And then there was green. Y'all, let's try green. Let's just look at it and see. We're not committing to anything. We're just looking, seeing what it feels like. Maybe it might not feel good. So far, so good. Oh, yeah, that's cute. Okay, and then you put that through there. And that actually will fit because it's just one layer. That's kind of cute. But I'm not going to do it. It is cute. Yes, it would work. I'm going to put the light pink. Nope, that's a dark pink. Where'd my light pink one go? I'm going to put that light pink one in there. So this is one of the long prong ones. I'm going to put the light pink one in there. It just works better for me. But the green is cute. I like pink and green together. Do y'all like pink and green? So I'm going to get one of the Gale's Nest rivets. The hardest part for me is keeping all these organized so I don't mix up whose parts go with what. And this one just goes through one layer of the strap. So I'm not going to fold anything else over. I'm just going to put it through that strap right there. Oops. And then I'm going to squeeze my crystal rivet on with my pliers. Get that into the divot part there. Okay, these are a little bit bigger, so it's a little harder to feel it, but I think I've got it right on there. And I'm just going to give it a squeeze and squish it on. So when you squish it on, it does flatten the rivet. Like there's kind of a divot there where the post from the cam snap plier went in and kind of squished it. But it's secure. I tried, so I messed up on one. I'll show you. I put my crystal on. This is one of those stone domes. I put this on before I attached it to the strap. And I tried to get it out so I could save these pieces that I made. And I can't get them apart. Like I used some pliers. I've even marred the metal here. I did not ask anybody in the house to help me pull it apart. But it's not going anywhere. When it's riveted shut, it's riveted shut. Because what happens is this post, when you squeeze it into the cap, the metal part of the post is softer and it goes up into the cap and it mushrooms out up inside that cap there. So it's not going anywhere. It becomes one thing with itself. And so if you cut it, you could do that. But I can go make more. So it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, so be sure that you've attached it to a strap unless you just want a little doodad. This is too big to use as earrings. And so when I had done this, that's what made me think about earrings, because I thought, what else could I use that for? And then I've already made that pretty thing. And so I thought about earrings, which I don't have the other one up here. So the earring files are a little bit smaller, quite a bit smaller actually. But there's the bigger earrings and then the smaller earrings. Anyway, that's side note. It doesn't have anything to do with this, except I'm telling you the rivets are not going to come off. I should have let me grab the Wristlet Hardware, and I'll show you how to put the hardware onto this kind of strap too. But let me grab those real quick. Pliers go. Here they are. Over here. Okay. Here's the pliers for those. Here's the Wristlet Hardware. Okay, so let me show you over here. Here's the Wristlet Hardware. Okay, here's the strap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both ends of the strap and bring them up so they're together. And I'm going to put this piece hardware. It's just called a hardware. It's not called anything else. I think it should be called something else because all kinds of things are hardware. And you're going to kind of line up your ends so they're in there together. And then you can use a pair of flat nose pliers. I got these that are perfect for this because they're exactly the right shape. And I just use that and I squeeze that together. Squeeze them on. Look at that. Wasn't that easy? So now that one's done too. Cute. And we can do the same thing. We can put a tassel on it and make it extra. So let's do that too. I'm going to use a big tassel because it's a big tag. We want it to be balanced and proportional to everything. These tassels also come from Amazon, and I know I have a link for those as well. I'll get to y'all. I don't think it's in the tutorial, but you don't have to use a tassel. This is perfectly fine and wonderful like this. You could leave it like this. It's totally okay. But you could put a tassel on it and just make it a little bit extra. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've got my split ring. I'm going to open up my split ring with my split ring opener pliers, which can be got anywhere that you can get split rings at. I put it on my key ring. And then I'm going to put the tassel on there at the same time so I don't have to open it twice. And then I'm going to spin it around until it snaps. There. That's on. That's on. Look how cute. Cute, 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 cute. So much cuteness. Okay. That's it. Okay. Let me close this so you can not see this mess. Let me see if I can close it. Can I close it? Can I use the equipment? I'm learning to use new programs, new equipment, all of it, all at the same time. So it's a little bit overwhelming. Let me see here. Where is my mouse? My mouse is gone. That's my problem. There we go. This one. This one. Nope, we're going to have to be like that. That's how it's going to have to be. So anyway, this one's done. These are done. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this showed you how to use the rivet. I couldn't see comments as I was doing this because I was using StreamYard, but I will go through all the places where this is. So you can get these designs at designsbybabymoon.com. You can get them at my Etsy shop, which is www.designsbybabymoon.etsy.com. And you'll also be able to get them at Embroidery Designer Mall. So wherever you get my designs, usually that's where you'll be able to find these. So I hope that you this was helpful, and I hope it explains some things about the rivets and how to use the rivets. And if you have questions still, please let me know. Put them in the comments, and I will go back through these in just a minute and check them all out and see if I can answer your questions. So thank you for hanging out with me this afternoon. And anyway, I'm glad that you guys like these. I'm glad that you think that they're as fun as I think they are, because this has been a welcome break for some other stuff that I'm working on. This has really given my brain a chance to reset. So thank you for your encouragement to get these done and get them out there. So we will talk to you guys soon, and I hope you have a good afternoon. Bye.